Safe winter. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, 부산영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Over half of the country's population we know. They live in the capital area. And this has clear pros and cons. Well, let's look at at least one of the pros. More economic opportunities. The con, well, at least one of the disadvantages, you spend more time making that money. For 80 years or 8th year running, an average person in Seoul made the most income out of the entire country. And so at the same time, people who live in the capital area, they spend significantly more time going to and from work. We're talking about commuting. So this paints a clear picture of why we have a very capital-centric system. And this picture clearly has some, I guess, lighter and darker sides. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Tuesday, December 24th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. It's that day, the day before Christmas. And some of you will say, technically, it's not Christmas Eve yet because it's still the morning. So we're going to call it the morning of Christmas Eve. I hope you're all doing well. Let me ask you this, though. What are the ups and downs of the city that you are currently residing in? Well, a little over half of South Korea's population, lives in the capital area. And the number one reason is, of course, economic opportunities. And the numbers, they corroborate this. Statistics Korea released the figures for the 2023 Gross Regional Domestic Product, the GRDP, 지역 내 총생산, as well as individual income, 개인소득, which is akin to disposable income, referring to the spending power of a household. And perhaps not surprisingly, an average person living in Seoul made the most money for the 8th year in a row at 29.3 million won per person, up 4.2% from the previous year. And Ulsan, which used to be the city with the highest individual income, came in at second place at 28 million, followed by Daejeon and also neighboring Sejong, both around 26 million. Incheon actually had the highest rate of increase in GRDP by 4.8%, thanks to growth in transportation and manufacturing, those two sectors. But in order to earn these big bucks, at least on average, people in the capital area also had to spend more time on the road. We're talking about the commuting time, 통근 시간. The national average stands at 74 minutes and 17.3 kilometers, and this is both ways. In the capital area, this was the highest at 82 minutes and 19 kilometers. And this was because many people who live in Gyeonggi and Incheon commute, in and out to and from Seoul. And the average time a person clocked in to work was 8:10 a.m. And the average time a worker clocked out, 6:18 p.m. So when you put this together with the longer commutes, does that not affect your work-life balance? We talk about what about all the time, but that commute, that could really kill you. And, the quality of life, and it seems that many people are putting in more time on the road. And it seems, it might be for a higher paycheck. Well, that's what we are talking about today. But you know what? It's December 24th. Tomorrow is Christmas. So I know, some of you don't celebrate it, but we're in the Christmas mood today. If you haven't kind of figured out by now, things look a little different today. So topic is this. Are you ready? And it's slightly different for hour number 2. So listen up. For hour number 1, it's this. Santa Claus is coming to town late tonight, early tomorrow morning. What do you want to get as a Christmas gift and why? And I want it to be specific. We all want world peace. We do. We want, stability for the country. But what do you want? Let's be a little selfish today. What do you want for Christmas and why? 자, 산타가 내일 새벽에 여러분에게 찾아간다고. And that's assuming you've been good. I'm assuming all the waivers that you've been good, not naughty. You've been nice. 어떤 선물을 받고 싶으신가요? 그리고 이유는요? So tell me what it is that you want. Can I go first? I'm going to go first. Okay, here we go. I have 4 on my list. 4개 있는데요. Number 1. A mic for PD님 is what I want from Santa. What do you guys say? She just gave me the okay. Number 2, for me, I want golf lessons. I'm being greedy because I want to get better. I want to beat my roommate even more. Number 3, she's going to kill me, but I love her. She knows. Dance lessons for Haley. And then number 4, I want a teleportation device for Sue because her commute is so far. And so I heard she comes from very, far away. So that's what I would like for our team. So you can send in your wishes to BFM's live stream, a live chat on YouTube. Go to the platform, search for BEFM, 부산영어방송, find our channel. You can subscribe in and then chat with our other waivers. Also on your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. Also on Kakao Talk, you can find our channel there. Same thing as always, BEFM 부산영어방송 to add us as a friend. And the ways you can listen to us, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, that's on the radio if you're in the vicinity, in the Busan area. And like I said, we're streaming live right now on YouTube. You can watch again at your leisure. Also, we have the Papang app. We have the BFM app as well that you can download. Both are free. So it is the 24th. It's Tuesday. Looking ahead to our lineup, we have Andrew coming in for Sports Insider. And then we also have Bonnie with The Health. For our special interview today, we're going to be focusing on 2024, the international news. What happened this year? What were the biggest news stories? So from today until next week, we're doing an overview, a review of 2024. It's important to look back so we can look ahead to next year as well. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And I'll be back with today's headlines. It is now 7:07. These are today's headlines. Constitutional Court to uphold Yoon's pre-trial hearing as planned. The Constitutional Court said yesterday it will hold the first preparatory hearing in President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment trial as planned and consider the necessary papers as having been served. Ex-intelligence commander planned provoking North Korea. Police revealed excerpts from the notebook of former Chief of Defense Intelligence Command Do Sang-won, including plans to provoke an attack from North Korea at the northern limit line. And against First Lady Kim Gun-hee at the cabinet meeting scheduled for today. Government and parties to launch consultative body. Rival political parties have agreed to launch a 3-way consultative body with the government this week aimed at seeking ways to overcome the ongoing martial law and impeachment crisis. Biden removes all but 3 from death row. U.S. President Joe Biden has commuted the sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates, changing their punishment to life imprisonment without parole. And these are today's headlines. It's time for Busan Updates. We have a very lovely Sue looking so Christmassy this morning. Let's say hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I wish it was Christmas every day.
I know.
It's so much fun. It's so festive. Well, before we begin Busan Updates, let me ask you what you want for Christmas. Assuming that you've been nice and Santa is bringing you a gift, what are you wishing for this year?
I want many things, especially for my own place. Yeah, I just moved out this year, in the beginning of this year. So my home is not fully furnished yet, in my opinion. So I need like window blinds.
Blinds. Dad, are you listening?
And I would like some oven.
Oh, an oven.
Yeah.
Mom, are you listening?
And many more home appliances. So,
that must be so much fun. Living on your own, away from family. Yes. We're going to jump into our Busan updates. Families of civilian massacre victims from the 1915 Korean War in the Sancheong and Hamyang areas of Gyeongnam province received their first compensation ruling from the state 74 years after the outbreak of the Korean War, right?
Yes. So there were 705 civilians killed by South Korean forces in that region during Korean War. And this was part of an operation to eliminate Inmingun, which means the North Korean People's Army in that area. Despite being registered as victims under a special law for civilian massacres, families had not received any compensation. But in a recent court ruling, the Busan High Court awarded 18.2 billion won in compensation to 15 victims' families. So this is a landmark decision because it is the first official state liability recognition for this incident.
Indeed. So this is, obviously we don't wish this upon anybody, but it's good that it's being recognized, all of this. And the government has, though, filed an appeal against this decision.
Yes, this shocked many families. So there are only 164 survivors out of 732 registered family members.
Yes.
And they are frustrated at the news because it's delaying closure for them. So they urged the government to enact a special law to ensure comprehensive and prompt compensation for the prolonged injustice.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much for covering this very important update. Next, let's talk about Busan Technopark, which announced on the 23rd, that was yesterday, that the Busan Coffee Research and Development R&D Lab has officially opened, and they've kicked off operations in Yeongdo-gu, Busan, right?
Yes. So when I first came to Korea, I was fascinated seeing how many coffee shops are in the corner.
Right.
And they seem to pop up like so often.
Sure.
And this time, this Busan Coffee Research and Development Lab is a newly opened facility located in the Bongnae-dong area of Yeongdo-gu.
Yes.
And their plan is to foster innovation in the coffee industry, specifically through the integration of blockchain technology to track and manage coffee logistics and provide objective information on the taste and quality of coffee.
Yes.
And this initiative is part of the R&D Innovation Valley promotion project funded by the Ministry of Science and ICT. And the lab is equipped with coffee extractors and cutting-edge research tools.
Yes.
The primary goal of the lab is to create a smart platform for coffee production, ensuring transparency and quality control through technology. And in addition, the lab plans to collaborate with universities and companies in the city to expand into a global coffee campus in the future, providing education on the entire coffee industry cycle with the hope of creating Busan as a place where the world-class coffee champions and players can gather.
Oh, yes. And of course, this whole initiative is to help Busan become this, global coffee city of innovation and collaboration. So yes, this sounds like we're going down that path. Next, so let's talk about this. Busan City announcing 2 new policies to enhance care services for individuals with developmental disabilities.
The first policy is called 발달장애인 긴급 돌봄 사업 So emergency care service for individuals with disabilities.
Yes.
So this program provides temporary 24-hour care services during emergency situations. For example, the caregiver is hospitalized and attending significant family events or experiencing physical or psychological exhaustion.
Yes.
And so the program was operated as a pilot project by the Ministry of Health and Welfare in the past 2 years, and it will transition into a permanent initiative starting next year. And there is a dedicated emergency center already established in Kumjonggu, so they can accommodate up to 4 males and 4 females to provide care services.
Yes, yes. And so what's another type of care service?
The second policy is 최중증 발달장애인 통합돌봄 서비스 사업인데요. Comprehensive care service for severe developmental disabilities.
Yes.
So this program provides one-on-one care service for individuals with severe developmental disabilities who are in a blind care spots due to their severity of their condition.
Yes. And so these new initiatives, how might they differ from existing policies?
The good news is both programs will be accessible regardless of income level to ensure that there is no financial barrier. And this will help address the burden on families, especially for the caregivers. And they are more focused and specialized than general disability support services.
Yes, yes. Well, it does sound like the city is trying to create a more responsive and flexible care system, which is good for everybody who is affected, including families. And we have next the Busan Securities Museum, which is the 부산증권박물관, which is run by the Korea Securities Depository, the 한국예탕결제원. They are celebrating their 5th anniversary with a special exhibition, right?
Yes. So for those who are not familiar with 증권, it's a security. So it means a document that represents property rights under civil law. And they are various types of documents that specify financial or ownership rights and used in different financial and trade contexts. So this museum was established in December 2019 in Busan.
Yes.
And their goal is to preserve paper securities as economic artifacts and carrying on the history of securities issuance. So to celebrate its 5th year, the special exhibition is called Figures in Securities. It explores historical figures featured on securities, examining the context of their lives and achievements and the historical significance of the securities. So in addition, there is a winter break program for children coming up next January.
Yes.
So the museum will host the hands-on learning program for elementary school students.
And so, I thought you were going to continue. So, right. So, for those of our listeners who might want to visit with their kids or, on their own as well, what are the details?
The admission is free. And the hours are from Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
So it actually started yesterday and it's available until the end of next year.
Oh, okay. Well, this is definitely probably something that you should put on your list if you want to, look for things to do here in Busan. So thank you so much, Sue, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Catherine. Merry Christmas.
All right. And so we're going to get to our traffic and weather. It is now time for your traffic report. There is an accident to report on the Dongso overpass going away from the city on Jinyang ramp. It's being taken care of right now, but it's causing some backup. Also, congestion from Hwangyang Tunnel to Hwangyang ramp on the Dongso overpass. Backed up on 중앙대로 from 소정천 intersection to Bugok intersection. It's also slow going on Gaya대로 from Kaegum to Jure intersection. Right now here in Sandam City, it is 1 degree Celsius. It's expected to go up to 9 degrees. There is a dry weather special alert in effect over Busan. There's also a cold wave advisory in effect across parts of Gyeonggi, Gangwon, Chungbuk, and Gyeongbuk, with lows going all the way down to minus 15 degrees. Well, for Christmas, are we going to have a white Christmas? The answer, sadly, is No, we're not. But at least it'll be relatively sunny. We're looking at a low of 2 degrees and a high of 10. So this was your traffic and weather.
Are you an early bird? Are you up to date on the news? Are you a trendsetter? For all of the biggest issues from Busan to the world and useful information you need, right here on Morning Wave in Busan.
It is now time for News Digest. We have Haley in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love how our producer just casually asked you, like, because your hair is up, it looks so pretty. And she's like, did you wash your hair? And I'm like,
She was like, did you? I was like,
Did
yeah.
you?
Actually, today, yes.
you
Yes.
heard my Christmas wish, people, right? A mic.
A mic. Because
producer.
she was also just like, yeah.
Yeah, and she likes talking to herself. And then for Haley, because I love Haley, dancing. I would take the lessons with you, though. Dance lessons.
Fun fact, I was the La Presidente of
the
our
dance?
of our Spanish club, and we had salsa dance lessons. And the instructor, this was in high school, which
Yes.
was like, I don't know, 5 years ago.
Okay.
Plus
If you say
some.
so.
And she was like, you're really good.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did they pay her to say that?
Well, I didn't pay her, but I don't know. I was told I was a good salsa dancer.
Oh.
Maybe it's just my upper body that's like a little stiff. Maybe my
Your hips are good.
hips don't lie. Yeah, Shakira.
Okay, so, and then for you, though, what do you want for Christmas?
All right, so all I want for Christmas is for that door to not creak. And I brought, and I'm covering
It's
this.
Haley's size. It's so cute. Because normally the one I have at home, it's huge, right?
But you know,
The
travel
WD
size. Travel size.
setting.
The WD. So I don't announce myself when I come in the door, which being an attention hawk, I do like to do that.
By the way,
but not with a.
Kusu keeps on saying he heard you come in, but you didn't. People are hearing things now.
Yeah, he's hearing phantom freaks.
No. Yes, and Drift Monkey says 5 years ago.
I said plus some. Maybe
Plus
I'm just
some,
bad at math. I don't know.
Yes. So, yes, we love it. Hopefully we can use that later.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to jump into our first bit. We got to get serious. News. It's been over a week since the Constitutional Court tried to send President Yoon Suk-yeol his impeachment case notice, but to no avail. And this is actually an important first step to get the procedure rolling, right?
Right. So not just the Constitutional Court, but
Yes.
the CIO and previously the prosecution, they've all tried to send the president via the presidential office a form of notice or another AWOL. Basically, radio silence.
Yes.
But for the trial itself, the impeachment trial, for that to begin, Yoon's side needs to submit a written response and also the National Assembly its own response, which kind of works like a plaintiff of sorts to submit their side. And the justices review the sides and get the procedure started.
Yes.
So the Constitutional Court has tried to send that request along with other papers for the procedures, notice of the trial dates, and a preparations order to the presidential residence.
Yes.
However, the presidential security has basically refused to receive the papers. Did not know you could just turn that down. But so with this, though, the Constitutional Court has decided to basically consider the documents as having been served
Yes.
from the moment it actually arrived at the residence. So the Constitutional said that this is in accordance with a Supreme Court precedent. So there's
Right.
legal ground for this. And the justices actually made a unanimous decision. All 6 of the sitting justices on the bench decided upon this yesterday. Kind of a big step as the presidential office has really been utilizing this delay tactic. By the way, President Yoon has not submitted his power of attorney, the list for his counsel either. So the Constitutional Court with this requested that President Yoon submit his written request within 7 days of having received the papers.
Yes.
And the clock has started. He has until the 27th to do so, which is later this week. By the way, this isn't mandatory. However, the pre-trial hearing will also take place on the 27th. So the things will start. But also as to what happens if this kind of radio silence and dismissal of these papers and orders continue. We don't know yet because the court hasn't really decided on how they will proceed if Yoon or his attorneys do not show up for the pre-trial hearings on the 27th. So we'll have to see about this after Christmas.
Yes. So that's coming up this Friday, actually. So, as the situation continues with this whole impeachment fiasco, so it does raise concerns about the state of governance moving forward.
Right, because the government continues, it is a precarious time because we are supposed to be making plans as an entire country, as a government for 2025. So the Yoon Suk-yeol administration's economic policy, experts say, will be minimized to kind of strip to the bare threads for just the most urgent issues and management.
Yes.
So the government will announce its 2025 economic policy directive pretty soon, which is an annual blueprint for what is to come next year. The party and the government they've emphasized that things will go on as usual, boosting incentive for foreign investors and getting demand rolling.
Yes. But there are other opinions.
Right. So experts say that given what's going on politically, the government likely won't present too much of a drastic policy initiative, but just try to put out urgent fires. So this has to do with the fact that in order for the government to do most of its budget executions, you have to get it past the National Assembly. They have the purse strings. Well, the parliament is at a gridlock, and it is also controlled by the opposition. Also, for those drafting and executing these policies, you need the working level officials, bureaucrats. Well, unfortunately, they have learned from previous experience 8 years ago that anything that they try to do during an impeachment period could, at least 8 years ago, they can be scrapped by the next government. So really, individuals don't have the incentive to really come up with any new ideas at this point. So everyone is treading lightly. This is what's going on domestically, but just looking outside of Korean Peninsula, we have huge waves of change coming, just to begin with the U.S., incoming President Donald Trump. So will this treading lightly help us stay afloat? We'll have to see.
Yes. Well, along these lines every day and especially every weekend, we've been seeing these like rallies and demonstrations regarding the impeachment across the country, especially in the Seoul area. But there are also calls on, how can we make this less damaging to the environment? People do have the freedom of expression.
Absolutely. But we can also, propose a greener way to go about this. So especially we're talking about balloons and the funeral or even congratulatory or support for the wreaths, so the Hwan.
Yes.
So when the impeachment motion passed at the National Assembly on the 14th of this month, one umbrella union, they released this huge number of balloons into the air. Quite a spectacle, but also raised concerns about the environmental impact of said balloons. And some civic groups actually did lodge official complaints to that union. And then the union actually listened. They convened an urgent executives meeting and discussed the matter and decided to refrain from performances that can have negative environmental impacts for their future events.
Yes, and so going back to the balloons, so what are the risks of, sending up or flying balloons up into the air?
Right. So because of the environmental risks, some countries do see and cities sending the balloons in the air as akin to littering because ultimately the balloons will come down onto the ground.
True.
We don't know where they come down. So balloons and that can disturb nature because these balloons, latex, other material, take 4 to up to 20 years to biodegrade and break down. So for example, Queensland, Australia, they've banned flying balloons that are lighter than air, meaning filled with helium. The ones that can float. Similar laws exist in the U.S. and the states like Florida, California, and Virginia.
Yes. And I know that if you're joining us on our YouTube channel, you probably saw the visual of all those wreaths, right? So there's some criticism about that as well.
And we're talking about both funeral wreaths and celebratory wreaths from both sides.
Exactly.
So because they're not just flowers. They have styrofoam, the plastic leaves, the frames, and in many cases, the flowers are now fake, which, by the way, fake flowers in Korea are 99% imported from China. And here's what industry insiders say because of different regulations country to country, the flowers imported from China have lower grade plastic and in these cases can be more harmful to the environment.
I see.
So environmental groups have come up with eco-friendly rally guidelines in the wake of these events. For example, making those K-pop light sticks, 응원봉, if you don't have them, from recycled milk cartons. I've also seen pretty ingenious ideas. One person took a piggy bank, carved a hole in the bottom, stuck a flashlight up it, which sounds okay. But it's a light stick, self-made a light stick. Also, if you have friends who have, the K-pop light sticks, or you can borrow them on those secondhand sites. So that's what's being recommended.
Well, this is all, very interesting and helpful for those who might still want to participate, but do so in a greener way. So thank you for this. Now we're going to go to the U.S. because Elon Musk has been exerting quite a bit of influence on the incoming Donald Trump administration already. So much so that some have said that, there are rumors that Musk is actually in charge of the government.
I've seen memes like President Musk that Trump has decided to cede or give up the presidency to Elon Musk. By the way, there's a vice president.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No. So Musk, what's he in charge of actually? So he's not a government official, but this is an advisory board called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. But he has been very engaged and very vocal in government matters already, taking to social media to criticize and intervene in the budget bill negotiations in Congress. And, experts say that he is playing an atypically, abnormally large role in the incoming Trump administration. And that's prompted criticism not only from the Democrats, but within his own Republican Party.
Yes. However, Donald Trump has rejected these claims outright, right?
Right. So for, our 4 years of experience of seeing Donald Trump at the White House and then, 4 more after, we know that one thing Trump hates is getting the limelight, taking it away from him. And he directly addressed these claims for the first time recently. He did praise Musk, so their relationship is solid, but said no, he's not taking the presidency, and these claims are a hoax pushed by his political opponents. And he also kind of had a tongue-in-cheek comment, take that as you will, adding that Musk cannot be president because he wasn't born in the U.S.
Right.
And I wonder whom that's
referring to.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he was born in South Africa, so he is not eligible.
No, he is not.
Yes. Well, for our last story, check your travel calendars and schedules ahead of time because the SRT has changed its policy on cancellations.
Right, because the no-show rate for SRTs and even KTX, but the trains are huge. And we talked about how people have canceled like hundreds of millions won worth of tickets previously. So SR, which operates the train SRT, they're changing their terms and conditions starting December 31st, so the last day of the year. So to get a full refund without penalties, you have to cancel or change your tickets 3 hours before the train's departure time. This is currently 1 hour, so they're kind of tightening that. So this is to reduce no-shows and also give people a chance to kind of pick up tickets last minute, 3 hours as opposed to 1 hour. So for weekends and holidays, there will be a 5% fee on changes and cancellations up to the 3 hour period. 3 hours to the departure time, 10%.
Yes.
For weekdays, no penalties if you cancel it up to 3 hours before, but 3 hours and to the departure time, 5% cancellation fee. However, a little bit of good news, simplified process to get a ticket reissued if you lose that ticket. So you can just go up to the station's ticket window and get it. And if you made a larger reservation, larger booking, and only a part of your party showed up, you can actually get an immediate refund on the train for the people who didn't show up.
Oh, well, we need to know all of this. So thank you for all the news and updates, and we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right. It is time for our first song break for this morning. So here we go. This is Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Bing Crosby.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Why? Santa Claus is coming to town. Gather round, He's making a list, checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're away.
He knows if you've been bad or good,
So be good for goodness sake.
you better watch out.
You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
With little tin horns, little toy drums, Rudy Toot Toots and Rum-a-Tum-Tums, Santa Claus is coming to town. And curly-head dolls, toddle and coo, elephant boats and kitty cars too. Santa Claus is coming to town.
The kids and girls in Boyland will have a jubilee. They're gonna build a toyland town all around the Christmas tree.
You better watch out.
You better not cry.
You better not pout.
I'm telling you why.
Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're away.
He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out.
You better not cry.
You better not pout.
I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming.
You mean the big fat man with the long white beard?
He's coming to town.
Welcome back, everybody. So today we're talking about Santa visiting your home, assuming that you've been nice. Not naughty, but nice. So what would you want as a Christmas gift and why? 자, 산타가 내일 새벽에 여러분에게 방문한다면 어떤 선물 받고 싶으신지, 그리고 이유는? So how about this one from Michael, who says 20대의 젊음을 다시 받고 싶습니다. Oh, so he, as a Christmas gift, would like to go back to his 20s. 근데 이유가 뭐예요, 마이클님? Why do you want to go back to your 20s? Is it just the youth? 그냥 젊음 그 자체인가요? 아니면 특별한 뭐 다른 이유? Like, I don't know, ex-girlfriend? Or is there a reason why you would want to go back to your 20s? How about from 윤정 Waver, who says, 산타 할아버지 저에게 아픔 방지권을 주세요. 아, 아파 보니 삶의 질이 확 떨어져서 힘들었어요. So, 윤정, she has shared with us that she's been having back issues and whatnot. So she would want health, because after she was not feeling well, she realized how important that is. We hope you feel better. Definitely, we're behind you. 윤중 Waver-님 and anybody else who's not feeling well, 화이팅합니다. Let's get to Cat's Pick for today. For today's Cat's Pick, I wish I could give you a gift, something warm and fuzzy. It's a terrible story once again, because that's what makes that headline usually. So this comes out of New York. A man has been charged with murder because he set a woman on a subway train on fire. So here's a clip from CBS News.
Now to a disturbing and deadly attack here in New York City. Tonight, police say they have a suspect under arrest after a woman sleeping in a subway car was set on fire. She later died.
This was a brutal attack on a woman who just appeared to be sleeping on a public train. And police found that victim when they saw smoke during a routine patrol. Horrifying moments inside an F train on the New York City subway. Just before 7:30 this morning, NYPD investigators say a woman was set on fire and burned to death. Police say as the train approached the last stop in Brooklyn, the suspect walked up to her, lit her on fire, and stayed on the scene, watching her burn from the train platform. After the NYPD released images of a person of interest, 3 young men called 911 when they saw the suspect on a different subway. Police stopped the train and arrested the man.
There must be strong, swift consequences on this person, and I use that term lightly, who committed this brutal homicide.
The NYPD said cameras have been installed in every subway car, and it's because of images from those cameras that led to this arrest. This week, Governor Kathy Hochul announced an additional 250 National Guard members will be deployed in subway cars to make sure everyone is safe.
Once again, a woman just happened to be sleeping on that F train in Brooklyn, and so he used a lighter to ignite her clothing, and she died in a matter of minutes. So the woman has not been named yet, but the man, he has been charged with murder. And I wish I could give you warm and happy news. This was Cat's Pick for today.
Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Wave in Busan.
Guess who I found? I found this lovely, tall elf.
I don't know.
Named Andrew. So
don't know
cute.
How to get this over the Oh, there we go.
Aww.
Everybody.
Aww. I want.
Merry Christmas.
I want the hat. I want the visor.
Yeah. You want it all.
Everything I wanted to do and wear. My producer was like, no. You're the host. You got to be serious.
Yeah.
This is as Christmassy as I can get.
Do you know what?
Yes.
My response to that is you only live once. Guess what?
On my last
They're not gonna
Christmas.
fire you.
No, you know what? On my last broadcast, I'm going all out.
Yeah?
19금 막 다 폭탄 터뜨리고 그러고 나갈 거예요.
It's just going to
I'm
be a
just
blur
kidding.
over your body.
Yeah, it's going to be a blur. I'm going to bomb myself. No,
I
I'm
love
just
it.
kidding. I would never do that. No, not to our waivers.
Sure.
Yes, but
Do you have
I
a
don't
text
really
topic
want to
or
get.
anything like
Yeah,
that?
for our text topic, definitely. What do you want for Christmas?
My
Have
two
you been
front
good?
teeth. My two. Have I been good?
Have you been naughty or nice?
I would say somewhere in the middle.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'm
you're
always
such
I'm
a
a
nice
person.
guy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know. Nothing. Love, health, and happiness. It's so cliche,
We have
but there we go.
messages for you.
Yeah?
Aw, Leslie says. Aw, with the W's.
Oh, I
so
didn't-
freaking cute. Andrew wins today.
I didn't bring in my deodorant like Haley.
The WD thing.
So for people in the chat who are wondering who Andrew was, that was me. So who was hard on
Andrew
Haley?
Wilford,
Yeah.
yes.
with her WD deodorant.
Yes. She wants to, we want to hear the 종소리 again. Can you stand up, get closer to the mic? Oh, I love it.
It's on the elf boots.
I know,
or
I was
shoes
saying
or
the elf
whatever.
should be higher.
Yeah. I do have another one that's like that. I just didn't think it was appropriate. So it's all
Oh,
right. Yeah.
why did you wear that one? The one where, it goes
Yeah.
up higher.
But I do have to say something. A lot of people use, it's beginning to look a lot like, but my saying is it's beginning to look a lot. It's beginning to look a slot like Christmas.
Slot.
For people who are wondering
Liverpool.
what I'm talking about, that is the Liverpool man whose name, Arne Slot. And we're going to kick things off with a clip here to Kat's, she does
Chagrin.
not want to. Yeah. Let's have a listen.
All right.
Move down the field nicely here. There's the cross, header, goal. Brilliant Liverpool. Absolutely brilliant from Liverpool. Luis Diaz has scored. And there's Alexi McAllister. And it's 2-0 to Liverpool. It's Soboslai. Performance deserved a goal. And he has a goal. Hey, and Salah's there. Liverpool have scored again. And play again. They're looking for another. Salah's in again. He scored again. Luis Diaz. Oh, that's it. What a goal! What a goal by Liverpool. They've got a 6th goal now in a crazy old game in North London.
Can we go to our next story?
Yeah, I don't know. It was unbelievable. You know, this game wasn't on until 1:30 in the morning on Sunday evening here in Korea. And it took every ounce of strength to stay awake for this game. And I did.
Didn't watch.
And I wasn't disappointed. But on many nights I have been, people. But yeah, so it's, it was good. So as you could hear in the clip, that was from Liverpool TV or Liverpool's No 2 channel. So Liverpool dominated Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday evening. A 6-3 victory. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. I did not put your goals in that clip. Merry Christmas to myself. All right. So there was goals from everybody chipping in, but Mo Salah and Luis Diaz both had 2. Mohamed Salah, who had 2 goals and 2 assists in this game.
Wow.
He now is in sole position, the 4th highest goal scorer for Liverpool in their history, which is pretty amazing because, I don't know, I feel like our memories are quite short and don't realize that he's been at the club for, a length of time. Yeah, so, he's cemented himself in, club history there. And probably before he finishes things, he'll be in 3rd place, I'd say, but he's definitely not getting near the top, that's for sure.
But also, I think I saw on my social media feed, top 10 for assists in the Premier League ever or something.
Yeah, he's there, but he's also the first player to ever have 10 goals and 10 assists
before the end of December.
Before
Christmas.
Yeah. He has 15 goals and 10 assists.
Yeah, I saw all that. I did. No. But really, I'm just, I'm just kidding. Liverpool.
Meanwhile,
yay.
Tottenham faces ongoing challenges as they struggle to find consistency under manager Ange Postecoglou.
So, how long do you think Big Ange is going to get?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of talk. There's always talks about managers getting the sack. I just feel that in this game, and this is my own opinion here, people, that he was missing his goalie, which he will be for a while. Both center backs, his left back.
Yes.
He had an 18-year-old who's never played center back there before.
Yeah.
And decided, we're not going to change how we play. We're going to play a high line. Sometimes,
some people say he's stubborn. He keeps on sticking to that.
It's idiocy. It's just, I would say that, sometimes a Lambo even has to drive the speed limit. And this is one where you just have to be safe, get through it, especially when you're playing against Liverpool.
The number 1 team in the Premier League.
Yeah, and those 3 goals, that was Liverpool turning off. That wasn't like them, hey, we're mounting a comeback. So I don't know. So yeah, Liverpool are at the top of the table, before Christmas. 4 points clear of Chelsea with the game in hand as well. And that game was against Everton, will be played in February, I believe it is. But it's also the other end of the table. It's kind of unbelievable where you look at Southampton, who only have 6 points.
Yes.
Tottenham right now are in the bottom half of the table in 11th. And to be honest, with the way that their performances have been, I'd say that's probably right where they should be.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, it's not like, we've been robbed points or we have VAR decisions. No, this is all your own doing.
Let's move on.
Yes.
Okay, quickly.
Yeah, so...
Where are we moving to?
Boxing. Alexander Usyk successfully defended his unified heavyweight titles by defeating Tyson Fury on Saturday night in a highly anticipated rematch in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Usyk won by unanimous decision. Now, the judges' scorecards, this is where something a lot of people were talking. This is, a lot of people didn't doubt that he should win. But it was 116 to 112, so it was unanimous. And Tyson Fury had, he came out and he was like, I'm really, I'm not happy with the judges' scorecards, this kind of thing. And I watched a good portion of this fight as well.
And what did you think?
I thought the right man won.
But what about the margin?
It may be 1 or 2 rounds this way or that way.
I see.
It shouldn't have been that big of a gap. But I always... I watch a lot more of UFC and MMA.
Yes.
And there's the famous saying that don't leave it into the judge's hands.
Oh, no, yeah.
If you can take it out. But I don't know. It's watching Tyson Fury fight, he's just a monster of a man. And I don't know. I hope that he's not done. He said he's going to take some time off. And also, he's also going to take some time off here as well. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yes. And now... We're going to go from the ring to the links.
The links,
Did you like
yeah.
that?
There you go. There we are. So Tiger Woods made a triumphant return to competitive golf alongside his son Charlie at the PNC Championship in Orlando, Florida. Now,
I stayed up for this.
It's pretty amazing to watch.
I did.
And I know there's a lot of people out there who aren't Tiger Woods fans for other reasons. I'm still a huge fan. You know, I think you can separate, personal from professional and that kind of stuff. But it was fun to watch this. The duo carded an impressive 13 under round of 59 in the first round, tying for the lead with a flawless performance that included 13 birdies and no bogeys.
Yes.
Now, this is after, he had played in the previous, I don't know, when was it? A few years ago now that he played with Charlie.
Yes.
And, a lot of people were like, whoa. Now, Charlie's kind of grown up a bit.
He has, like, before our eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Every year at PNC, you're like, oh, he grew a few centimeters.
Yeah, and there was a picture with John Daly and his son as well. And it's really funny because, John Daly's just such a character. Yeah. And his son I feel like his son is walking right into his footsteps as well. So it is pretty cool. But no, it was great. It was, also that Charlie made headlines by sinking his first career hole-in-one.
And he didn't even know he had gotten it. He was just like, this was him like, huh? What?
Yeah.
What?
Where did the ball go?
And then his dad slapped him on the back.
Exactly. So, it's really, really fun to watch these events. Also, I think his daughter was carrying his bag as well for a good part of that round, which was pretty amazing.
Yes.
So a family affair, which was nice to see as well. That was pretty cool.
I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And they got runner-up.
Yeah.
But do they really need the money?
And a lot of people are wondering, well, what's up with Tiger? What's going on? He did come out and he was talking about that, in the past, 5 or 6 years, he's had multiple surgeries for his back.
Recently, too.
And other things,
Yeah.
So he can't play back-to-back-to-back events.
Nope.
He can't string them together. But the thing is with Tiger, if he wants to play in any event, for every event, there's always a sponsor's exemption. And
they would love to have
And he'll get into these. Anytime.
And he was looking good, the best I've seen in a while.
Yeah, so his response is that his recovery time obviously isn't what it used to be. Also, that comes with age. He's
49.
He's not 22 anymore.
Right.
Not like a spring chicken like myself.
Okay, let's not lie on Christmas Eve morning, but let's get to our final story.
The final story now, obviously it is Christmas Eve. I wanted to keep things all nice and festive, but, when a legend passes away, I believe they deserve their flowers. Now, Rickey Henderson, Major League Baseball's all-time stolen base leader, passed away at the age of 65. Obviously, much too young to be leaving us. This was confirmed by his family in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, there wasn't a statement that was delivered about how he died. People are saying it was pneumonia-based, so, he was sick. It wasn't, anything to be worried about in the sense of like, oh, he was in a bad way or these kind of things. It was some health issues like that. But over his remarkable 25 career, Henderson played for 9 teams, notably the Oakland Athletics, which really got me to love the Oakland A's at that point in time. Well, rest in peace, Oakland A's as well. That's also, they're not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
But he holds the records for stolen bases with 1,406, runs scored 2,295, earning him the nickname Man of Steel. And I believe there was never, when I was a kid, if you were playing baseball, whether it was in a league or with your friends, and anybody was going to steal a base, and they didn't make it, the comment was, who do you think you are? Rickey Henderson? Like, it was
I see.
Or like if anybody thought they were fast, they would, oh, it's Rickey. Ricky's got it,
So he was a point of inference, right?
100%. So, again, somebody who hasn't been in the limelight as of late for the MLB, there's a lot of guys who retire who are always around. He hasn't really been around a whole lot. But, again, at 65, that is much too young to leave us.
Absolutely.
But, hopefully, thoughts and prayers out to his family and all the Major League Baseball fans out there as well.
That's right. And so people are laughing at the spring chicken comment.
Yeah. Well, people, what's going on? Don't you see this? I got bells on my shirt. I'm wearing a cool hat.
Yes.
It's Christmas Eve.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I want to wish you and your loved ones a Merry Christmas.
But don't be afraid. I'll be back on New Year's Eve.
Oh, gosh, you are. Okay,
what
bye.
What will he be wearing, people?
Let's get to our final song for hour number one. This is Do They Know It's Christmas by Band Aid as requested by Leslie. I'll be back at 8.
Plenty, we can spread a smile of joy. Throw your arms around the world at Christmas time. But say a prayer, pray for the other ones at Christmas time. It's hard, but when you're having fun, there's no world outside your window, and it's a world of dread and fear, where the only water flows, the bitter sting of tears, and the Christmas bells that ring are the clanging chimes of doom. Well, tonight, thank God it's them instead of you. And there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time. The greatest gift they'll get this year is life. Where nothing ever grows, no rain or rivers flow. Do they know it's Christmas time at all? Here's to you, raise a glass for everyone. Here's to them underneath that burning sun. Do they know it's Christmas time at
Your Bridge to the World.
부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
We are
The Firefighter Duo.
Winter is so dry. Let's prevent fire by keeping these 3 rules. If you take caution, you can prevent a fire.
The number one cause of fire in winter are electric blankets. Take special caution with highly flammable materials such as memory foam, toppers, and bedding.
Number 2, having too many appliances on the power outlet is dangerous. Always unplug all the appliances that you're not currently using.
Number 3, check the heater is off before leaving the house. Leaving it on for an extended period of time can cause a fire.
Let's all take part in preventing fire and have warm and safe winter this year.
Tune into BEFM 부산영어방송 for an emergency broadcast.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Good morning,
Dynamic Busan.
Yeah, you're waking up. Time to shake it up. Tell the world good morning and find out what's going on.
Well, hi there, folks. There's everything from comedy to lively chat to music.
Broadcasting from a room about the size of your closet.
All calls are recorded. What show is this?
Live from Korea's dynamic city, this is Morning Wave in Busan.
I'm sorry, who'd you say you were?
It is now 8 o'clock and this is news highlights. Constitutional Court to hold Yoon's pretrial hearing as planned. The Constitutional Court said yesterday it will hold the first preparatory hearing and President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment trial as planned and consider the necessary papers as having been served. Yoon has refused to receive the documents for a week despite the court's attempts to reach him via the postal service, in-person delivery, and an electronic system. Amid mounting criticism, Yoon's attorney told the press that he believes that procedures for the impeachment trial should be prioritized over the investigations, as he is still the president, although suspended. Ex-intelligence commander planned provoking North Korea. Police revealed excerpts from the notebook of former Chief of Defense Intelligence Command Do Sang-won, including plans to provoke an attack from North Korea at the northern limit line. The police found the notebook during a raid of No's home in Ansan, as No has been arrested for his suspected involvement in the December 3rd martial law declaration. The police also found plans for a parliamentary lockdown and a potential roundup and shooting of politicians, journalists, judges, and civil servants. No details, however, about the martial law decree were found in No's notebook, the police said. Cabinet to not review special counsel bill against first couple. The government has decided to not introduce the special counsel bills against President Yoon Suk-yeol for his martial law declaration and against First Lady Kim Gun-hee at the cabinet meeting scheduled for today. An official from the Prime Minister said that the issue requires considering the legality, the constitutionality, and the future of the country. The main opposition, Democratic Party, has previously urged acting President Han Duck-soo to promulgate the bills at the cabinet meeting, vowing to hold him responsible if he failed to do so. Government and parties to launch consultative body. Rival political parties have agreed to launch a three-way consultative body with the government this week aimed at seeking ways to overcome the ongoing martial law and impeachment crisis. The two parties, upon initial struggles, agreed to have the heads of the respective parties attend the inaugural meeting scheduled for this Thursday and have the floor leaders continue working level discussions. The parties, however, are divided over the agenda for the first meeting. The ruling People Power Party is looking to request a prompt appointment of the vacant defense and interior minister positions, whereas the Democratic Party seeks to prioritize the extra budget for the people's livelihoods. Biden removes all but 3 from death row. U.S. President Joe Biden has commuted the sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates, changing their punishment to life imprisonment without parole. The 3 prisoners who remain on death row are those who committed mass shootings or acts of terrorism. The move does not apply to state executions. The decision follows mounting pressure from campaigners who warned the president-elect Donald Trump backs the death penalty and may restart federal executions during his first term after a 17-year hiatus. And these are news highlights. Listeners, it is time for issue wa글와글, which means I think Haley has entered the studio, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say hi to her again for this hour. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Merry Christmas. Yay. Oh, this does not work in unison.
Oh.
Okay, well, one's just, all right. One's
Please
just
tell
going to
me
be.
that's not yours.
It's not mine. It is
You
one of
borrowed
our
it, right?
new media producers.
Okay.
She also just owns a couple of these.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I borrowed one.
Oh, that's... I asked my producer for any kind of hat or adornment or something, an accessory. She's like, no. Even before. Aw, Haley gets to do all the fun stuff.
Haley gets to do all the non-dignified
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. So cute. Well, let's get to our text topic. It's different for hour number 2.
It is.
So here it is. Oh, the close-up. Oh, my
God.
gosh, that was a
Oh
little
my
scary. 조금 무서웠어요. 그거.
저도 그러네요. 아유, 진짜.
귀여운데 조금 무서웠어. Yes. Okay. Our second text topic is this. So we're going to change it. 이제 바꿀 거예요, text topic. So if you were Santa and you were going to give someone a gift, who would you... You're distracting. Who would you go to? Why? Like, what would you give them? 자, 내가 산타가 돼서 이 사람에 가고 싶다. 이 사람이 누굴까요? 그리고 이 사람에게 그리고 뭘 주실 건지. What are you going to give? 그리고 왜?
All right.
Okay,
So for our team.
Yes.
For our team. For Kat, I think, well, since you want golf lessons, I want a helmet and maybe like a butt pad for you. Because you guys, she gets injured so much playing golf. And I'm going to out you in the spirit of Christmas.
Okay, out me.
Yeah. Every time you see her with like a cast or something, it is golf related. And yeah, so I'm going to maybe, one of those huge bubbles. Yeah.
I
You
need
can
that.
just roll people down the hill.
Because literally last time I rolled down
she did roll down the hill.
slid down the hill.
So I think if you're really going to insist on golf lessons to Santa, then they should be accompanied by giant bubble and a helmet.
And extra insurance.
Because we like Kat. We want her to come back to work.
Every time I come with a cast, the producers look at me like...
I just know.
Yeah, you
I
just
just know.
And
And I'm just like smirking in the back. And then for our producer, of course, a mic, but also I protect her privacy. But
Yes.
like an eye, like a camera from eye down because 선생님, 아까 전에 PD님 하품했어요. During your news highlights, she was yawning. And in the spirit of Christmas, I'm going to put everybody against
You're
each other.
just like outing everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
So that's our new text. 이렇게 까맣게 이렇게 해주세요.
I'll self censor.
Yes. self-parasite ourselves. All right. We're going to jump into wa글와글. So, we know not to park or block parking spots for people with disability. I mean, this is such a no-no. But what about a case where your car was, pushed? How can your car be pushed into the spot?
Very carefully.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with strategic maneuvers.
Oh.
So this is the channel 한문철 TV. He's an attorney who specializes in traffic issues. So there is this apartment parking garage, and many people are familiar with how there's no parking.
Yes.
And especially when the weather's cold, people want to park underground.
Right.
We get it. We get everything. So all the spots are full in this particular story. So one resident apparently double parked. So 이중주차. At that point, when he or she, or should say they, when they double park, they were not blocking any priority or disability parking spots.
Okay.
But several days later, this person got a parking ticket.
For?
It said that they were blocking. They were not parked inside a parking spot, but blocking it. And that, by the way, is also 100,000 won ticket, 10만 원.
Oh, so whether you park in the spot or
if you block a 장애인 주차 자리, that's a 10만 원 fine.
Okay.
So they're like, well, I didn't. So they went back to their car and looked at the dashboard camera or something. Unbelievable.
Oh, we're looking at it right now?
We're looking at it. So another resident pushed the car to make it block, to push it to the spot in front of the disability spot.
God, like on purpose?
Yeah. Well, then now we know it's on purpose because then he takes out the camera
and then starts
and snaps a photo.
Did he report him?
Presumably, yes, because a photo was taken, right? And another kicker, this is the third time it's happened.
Oh my gosh.
So this person's paid 30만 원, 300,000 won.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it seems morally wrong, right? But is this wrong in a legal sense?
Well, number one, it is illegal to block a disability parking spot. But what if you didn't park your car there? What if it was pushed there?
Right.
Well, there isn't a law that specifically says you can't push a car into a parking spot because I'm assuming lawmakers didn't really thought of that. Why would you?
Yes.
But making a false accusation is illegal.
Yeah.
So that could fall into that category, said the lawyer. So under criminal law article 156, 무고죄, a person who reports false information to a public office for the purpose, so intent is important, of having a criminal or legal responsibility imposed upon another individual.
Yes.
That is illegal.
Okay.
And they can be imprisoned for up to 10 years or up to a 15 million won fine.
Yes.
Interesting comments, though. So I was like, this person, what is wrong with this person? Why would you move someone's car to, commit this infraction? But then several comments said, if it's that person's third time double parking, then... then does that person have a reputation for double parking? And if it is by a disability parking spot, that means it was at the very front of the parking lot. So yeah, there's something to think about.
Lots to unfold. All right. Next up, this is a time for kind of all of the end of year lists. We've been going over the word of the year and person of the year. But we're going to look back on this year in pictures.
In photos, which is very appropriate seeing as this is the radio, but we will try to describe it and also get on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
So the BBC published 12 of the most striking images to wrap up 2024.
Sure.
So the list encompasses natural phenomena or disasters like the solar eclipse over North America, the Indonesian volcano eruption, flooding in Valencia in Spain.
Yes.
And then there are several photos in the sports and arts category. So the Olympic opening ceremony, especially, I think that was one of our back then hot clips. The tableau of what seemed like the Last Supper, but everyone was kind of naked. Also from the Paris Olympics, this astounding mid-air surfing move by Brazilian surfer Gabriel Medina.
Yes.
Also in politics, the toppling of the Assad regime.
Yes.
The toppling of the physical Assad statue in Syria, that was just early this month. And of course, the photo, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah, that was captured.
Raising his fist, the blood on his face, his fist in the air, Secret Service agents trying to hold him down.
And the flag.
And the American flag billowing in the air. many people say that this was the photo, the moment that kind of won him the re-election.
That's like a very
iconic.
Encompasses everything.
It really does.
Just all in one photo.
Right.
But however, speaking of images, one image from South Korea actually made the top 12 list.
It did. So it's from the night of the martial law declaration. So a lot of our listeners, our waivers have commented on this before. So An Gui-ryung, who's one of the spokespeople for the Democratic Party, she grabbed the barrel of the rifle of the gun from a martial law soldier who tried to stop the lawmakers from entering the hall to vote down the martial law imposition. So the BBC quoted An, who after this incident said that her only thoughts was that she just needed to stop them. So she pushed them away, shook them off, and did everything she could. So the BBC says that this unflinching determination and even the shimmer of steely light off of her clothes, they call to mind the British artist John Gilbert's stirring 19th century watercolor portrait of Joan of Arc or Tandaruke. So kind of making references to her being this modern version of that
So
hero.
that is once again the BBC's take on the striking images of 2024. Well, here's a person we probably can agree on should get hero status.
We have no idea who she is until this moment.
Okay.
But let's talk about some unsung heroes.
Love it.
By the way, the day after Christmas, the day after tomorrow, we're going to start doing like Morning Wave in Busan Persons of the Year picks. So famous people.
Yes.
But also people who are doing their job. But, you know, we all know it is hard to do your job right.
Yes.
So this is first responder Lee Soo-jung at the Dongducheon Fire Department. So she's a 20-year veteran. She won the Silver Award at the National Safety Inventions Challenge for inventing a gurney or stretcher 들것 for babies and toddlers.
Really?
Because if you think about it, if you think about a gurney, hopefully you've never been on one.
Right.
But like from TV, they're adult size.
Yes.
So patients, when they are taken in an ambulance, they're strapped to the stretcher. So of course you don't get jerked around or move. However, there are no straps or belts for little kids, for the kid size.
Yes.
So that leads to, because they can't just lie there, first responders usually have to hold them, like physically hold them. But what if there is a serious injury?
Sure.
So Yi said that she thought of, well, there are car seats, but there are no like car seat equivalent of stretchers, which led her to create one. Also, this is pretty genius. She made updates. So the baby stretcher has temperature controls because usually when babies are rushed to, well, not usually, but sometimes when babies are rushed to the ER, it's for high fever.
Yes.
So it has a cool down system or a warming system depending on what the situation is.
How does she know?
She's a mom. She is a mom of 2. And she said, as both a mother and a first responder, this invention is really meaningful and talks are currently underway to turn that into a product.
Oh, and there she is. If you're on
Yeah.
her channel. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Well done. Well done.
And then now for our final story, it's kind of one to get us more. Can we get even more into the holiday spirit? I mean, this is so unlike Morning Wave today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But-
so what is it?
But okay, imagine where do you go for Christmas? What places would you go to
Okay,
see like
normally-
Christmas lights, decorations?
And then some people go to church.
Of course, it is
If
a
you're-
Christian Christmas holiday.
Right,
but that's
right.
how you spell it.
Yes.
How about a Buddhist temple?
For Christmas?
How about Pomesa of all places?
Oh, really?
Right, because you can see Santa at Pomesa. An inflatable one, but still. So
Okay.
the city's one of the most prominent Buddhist temples
Yes.
in Busan, they have installed an inflatable Santa. And it's right by the main gate, climbing a tree. Quite rare to see that.
At
At a temple. That's a
an oxymoron.
juxtaposition if I've ever seen one. Not only that, they've also hung a huge banner celebrating and congratulating the birth of baby Jesus.
아기 예수님의 탄생을
Yeah,
축하합니다.
it's also odd in a good way to see 아기 예수님, baby Jesus, and 범어사, the temple.
Wow.
Right. So
What's going on?
The leading monk of the temple is called 방장, monk 정여 스님, also attended a service at a local hospital, a religious service, a Christian religious service, like a not mass but service. So the intent to unite the religions because, well, given the times and everything, in the face of deepening political and social divide.
Yes.
And actually, monk Jeongyo apparently has always been interested in this religious unification, not only with Protestants, Catholics, and he has unofficially previously attended Christmas masses and Christmas services at churches, and even had the Buddhist temple's choir sing hymns at temples and churches. So
that's so modern and inclusive.
It's very inclusive, and we love it.
Interesting. Well, we're going to end it on that happy note. And I'm so sad to see Haley go bye-bye, especially with a cute rabbit. Can you say bye with your ears?
Bye.
Aww.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Oh, the
So what
sound.
did I
The
say?
sound. Well, it's the boink boinks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and everybody's asking, did you steal that from Minsu? No.
I borrowed it.
No.
Yeah.
We don't steal.
Maybe Minsu stole it from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Maybe.
Yes.
I mean, who looks better in it? Oh, mic drop. I'm gone.
Yes. Well, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Bye, Haley.
Bye.
All right. What am I doing? Okay, now it's time for traffic and weather. It's time for your updated traffic in the Busan area. It looks congested from Nakdong-Namno from Gangso Police Station to Seongsan three-way intersection right now. It's also backed up on Luno-Samsangdaero from Myeongji Underpass to Shino Bridge. It's looking slow on Gwanmun-daero from Baegang Tunnel Ogi intersection to the tunnel itself. And lastly, there's about a congestion on Gwangan Bridge on the top portion going towards the Taeyeon Overpass. As for the weather, it is currently 1 degree Celsius here in Centum. It's going to go up to 9 today. There is a dry weather special alert in effect over Busan. There's also a cold wave advisory in effect across parts of Gyeonggi, Gangwon, Chungbuk, and Gyeongbuk with lows of minus 15 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, it is Christmas. No snow in Busan. However, it's going to be, relatively sunny with a low of 2 and a high of 10. So yes, indeed, we're going to have a nice Christmas. This was your traffic and weather. And this is Andy Williams. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Marshmallows and toasters and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. Yes, the most wonderful time. Oh, the most wonderful time of the year.
Welcome back, everybody. For our text topic, we had two today. The first one was, what do you want to get for Christmas? And then our second one for hour number 2 was, what would you like to give and to whom? So I don't want to get all serious, but, what I would like to give and to whom is actually, for all the people that don't have family or maybe feeling a little blue around this time of year. And there are people like that. So I would want to reach out to them, to visit them personally on the Rudolph that I'm borrowing from Gosu waiver. And I would like to go and give them a really big hug. Literally, that's what I would do. Because I think companionship and just being around people, just having and feeling included during this time of year is also very important. So maybe if there's someone that you feel might be kind of a little lonely, but not too keen to speak up. Maybe they don't want to say, 저 외로워요. Reach out to them. Maybe not a physical hug if you feel uncomfortable, but maybe, a nice message, have coffee with them, something like that. Something really minor, but that may make a big difference in that person's life. So that's what I would do. All right, we're going to get to our special interview. So I'll be back in just a moment. For today's special interview, well, we have just about a week left in 2024. So we're going to look back at the significant international events that have reshaped the global political, economic, and social landscape. From geopolitical tensions to groundbreaking diplomatic achievements, these developments have left a lasting impact on nations and on their people. So let's explore the most influential global stories of the past year and their implications for the future. We've invited back to the airwaves Professor Michael Burch, Associate Professor of Political Science at Eckerd College. Hi, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Great to be here as always.
Yes. So first, if you could highlight, in your opinion, one of the most significant international events or developments in 2024, what would it be to you? How has it or how have they shaped the international landscape?
Well, I think the biggest one we could say is not just one event, but a series of events. And that's looking at this global anti-incumbency at elections throughout the globe, from the United Kingdom to the United States and even there in South Korea, right? We've seen elections over the past year where opposition parties have done incredibly well. And that is something that, we maybe always focus on the elections at a national level, but it's been a huge trend internationally.
Yes, that is true. And what would you consider other things that were also impactful? So we have, elections, but anything else that really stands out to you that while you were kind of looking back on 2024?
Well, I think, one is the spread. Another thing, looking at something more discrete, the continuing, and perhaps I'm biased here, but the continuing Israel-Gaza war now spreading into Lebanon.
Yes.
And the fact that we didn't really see any let-up of the war in 2024, but combined with the fact that by many measures, Israel achieving a lot more than people around the world were expecting. They did not get hostages back. There's still upwards of 100 hostages still being held captive. But the fact that they were able to successfully kill the leaders of both Hamas and Hezbollah, carried out a series of daring attacks in Lebanon, and just the continuing scale of destruction in Gaza. I think all of that has been really surprising to see and has really kind of taken a lot of people in the international policy arena off guard.
Yes, indeed. That was definitely it's ongoing. I mean, it's still continuing. So obviously leaving a huge impact on the rest of the world and not just in that region. And what's next on your list, Professor?
Next is going to be something that just happened in this past month, but and it's going to relate to the second story, but the collapse of the Assad regime in Syria. The Syrian civil war, really one of the most devastating conflicts that we have seen in the modern era. And for all intent and purposes, people believed that the war had ended. Yes, they were still a rebel group, but they controlled such a small amount of territory. There was very little fighting going on. And then starting in late November, they launch a new offensive, and we just see this regime that had been in power for 50 years just collapse in a matter of weeks. And that's really stunning. And as we start to think about the next year, what is going to happen in that vacuum? Will we finally see stability and peace? Because that could have reverberations throughout the globe.
Indeed. So major impactful events that you have spoken of. What do you think has been the global reaction to all the wars and conflicts in the Middle East? Do you think that the power dynamics, the international alliances, that there's been a shift, or is it pretty much the same? What do you think?
Yeah, so one thing is that, don't want to be too pessimistic with always emphasizing conflict, but we can look to Russia, where Russia has had more success in the Ukraine war over the past year in, taking more Ukrainian territory, but taking a bit of an international hit. Russia had been seen as the savior of the Assad regime, having the collapse of the Assad regime in Syria, having Assad flee to Russia, kind of a signal that Russia, for all of its gains in Ukraine, may be stretched thin, and that their ability to project their power might be weakening, and they might be. And we've seen President Putin signal his willingness, openness to negotiating, something that President-elect Trump has often hammered home.
Indeed. So if we kind of also look at the lessons that could be learned by the actors, the players, the public at large, all around the world, what can we take from the international news that popped up in 2024? And how can we better address challenges in the next year, in the new year?
One, I would say, going back to the first one and thinking about elections, that I think we can say around the globe that coming out of COVID and then all of the supply chain, economic issues, inflation that many countries around the world experienced, that there is a lot of discontent between people and their rulers. And we can kind of see that, emerge in so many different situations. One country that often doesn't get talked about, Botswana, has had the same party in charge since independence in the 1960s. And that party was, pushed out of power for the first time ever this past year. And so we can see that, if politicians are seemingly remaining unresponsive to the issues of everyday citizens, we can imagine perhaps more instability. And if we're wanting to have a more stable 2025, trying to see a dialogue, not just between countries, but within countries, being of critical importance.
Indeed. And as we look ahead to the new year, 2025, what can we expect? Do you think that this is going to continue, that these are going to be the major, happenings that are going to parlay from, continue from 2024 to 2025? What's happening, for example, in the Middle East with Israel, with Gaza, etc. What do you think?
I think I actually kind of think that in the Middle East we might see the conflict. We might see an eventual ceasefire, but I think the headlines will shift away from the Middle East just because with Hezbollah, agreeing to a ceasefire, the collapse of Assad, there's not much of the senior leadership of Hamas, and so I think really perhaps 2025 will be one of economic stories with President-elect Trump coming in, and he has signaled that his desire to, enforce and introduce a bunch of tariffs to various countries. And, once that starts, if that starts, whether it's a bargaining tactic or an actual position, we could then imagine like other countries retaliating, and the possibilities of not like a conflict of war that we've been seeing, but a trade war emerging is, I think, a real concern going forward.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for coming on air with us to take a look back, a year in review of the major political, economic, and social events that happened. And we do want to wish you and your loved ones a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. A pleasure as always.
Once again, everybody, this was Professor Michael Burch, and we talked about kind of a rewind, a review of what happened in 2024. And once again, throughout the rest of the year, starting on Thursday, continuing on Thursday, we're going to be kind of taking a look back, a retrospective on what happened in 2024. And now we are ready for our next song break. This is a song that hopefully will bring us a little bit of hope as we wrap up 2024, looking ahead to 2025, all the global events and things that have been happening. Maybe there is a miracle, because this is called 12월의 기적. Hoping for that miracle. This is by EXO as requested by Yunjung Waver.
보이지 않는 널 찾으려고 애쓰다 들리지 않는 널 들으려 애쓰다 보이지 않던 게 보이고 들리지 않던 게 들려 너 나를 떠난 뒤로 내겐 없던 힘이 생겼어 나밖에 몰랐었던 이기적인 내가 네 맘도 몰라줬던 무심한 내가 이렇게도 달라졌다는 게 나조차 믿기지 않아 네 사랑은 이렇게 계속 날 움직여 난 생각만 하면 세상은 너로 채울 수 있어 넌 송이 하나가 네 눈물 한 방울이니까 단 한 가지 못하는 것은 널 내게로 오게 하는 일 이 초라한 초능력 이젠 없었으면 좋겠어 나밖에 몰랐었던 이기적인 내가 네 맘도 몰라줬던 무심한 내가 이렇게도 달라졌다는 게 나조차 믿기지 않아 네 사랑은 이렇게 같아 시간을 멈춰 이제 난 내게도 돌아가 추억의 책을 오늘도 너의 페이지를 열어 난 그 안에 있어 그 겨울에 와 있는 건 보이지 않는 널 찾으려고 애쓰다 들리지 않는 널 들으려 애쓰다
Get your local up-to-date news from Korea and abroad right here on Morning Wave in Busan with Catherine. Stay tuned.
It is now time for, what are we here for? The Help.
Yay!
We have Bonnie here. How are you?
Good, thank
yes,
you.
Yes, And by the way, before we jump into our segment, we have something to show our waivers. For those of you joining us on NoTube, people were saying we need a 인증샷 of Haley versus Minsu. Who wore the rabbit hat cuter? Because we are insisting it's Haley. Okay, so here we go. And I apologize ahead of time to Minsu, but here we go. Yes.
Aww.
Aw, so cute. So
That's a tough one.
We love you, Minsu. We do. 근데 하필이면 피디님 민수 씨 이렇게 입을 하는데 why that particular
cute.
shot? She was trying to make him
He's
cuter.
like a cute bunny. Minsu's like a naughty bunny. A mischievous bunny.
Oh, naughty bunny. So, Jubro says left. People are voting. Screen left. That was Haley. Our Haley, of course. Haley가 당연히 이기죠. 근데 민수 씨 사랑합니다. No. 민수's such a great sport. He's like the nicest person ever.
Yeah.
Like, for real. We're not just saying that because we're on air. But hey, so are you done with all your Christmas planning and giving and all that?
Yeah. I
Really?
think I'm good.
I haven't
yeah.
even started. Today,
Do you know it's tomorrow?
No.
Did you know?
I had to input grades, and that went on until like well past midnight last night, and they're due today. So I was really, really super busy doing that. And my gift to my students, generous grades. I was so generous. 너무 내가 생각해도 너무 잘 줬어요 점수를.
That might be the best present you could give.
Because I don't want hate like messages later. So
that equals happiness. So you're giving the
Yes.
gift of happiness.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody passed. Yes. C 받을 수도 있지만 그래도 F보다 낫잖아요.
Oh, 그럼요.
Oh, so what do you want to give as a gift? If you could be Santa and travel the world anywhere, and you could choose one person to give a gift to.
Oh, just one person?
Yes. Who would it be and why? And what are you giving to this person?
Oh, that's too hard. One person?
Okay. A group of people. Okay, Bonnie. You got me.
I refuse to answer that question. For this holiday season, it wouldn't be anything material, I guess. Maybe I think in the world, there's a lot of people that are not able to have a happy Christmas, or not have a happy holiday season.
Right.
Not to get sad or anything, but lots of people in like war times, like innocent people. So I would love to give them just a little bit of a spark of joy, whatever that might be. Maybe it's a material thing, but maybe it's
Whatever
just
they need?
a feeling of peace. That's if I'm Santa, if I could be Santa, so I'm magic, right? So I can have that power.
Yes. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I can't think of anything materialistic to give to any one person.
Because
That's
you
too
are
hard.
the ultimate cult health leader, as everybody is calling you, in the best way possible. They're here for it. They're listening.
Oh,
ears are
thank
perked,
you.
ready to go. So
welcome one and all.
Yes. So what are you? What are we covering today?
Well, actually, that goes in theme with what we're covering today because I'm going to be talking about the gift of giving.
Yes,
and how this is health related because it is the holiday season, and I think a lot of times we start young, wanting things for Christmas, right? We make a Christmas list. We ask Santa for things. I know when I was young, I always had that one toy that I really wanted, or a certain thing, the plaything that I really wanted.
Yes.
And so I think from when we're young, since we have that in our head, we always kind of think of this holiday season as something that we get.
Yes.
A season of receiving gifts. So that's always in our head and that's always in our mind. But I'm hoping that maybe we can focus a little bit more on the gift of giving, on the spirit of giving.
Love it.
The reason why is there's an actual term for this called helper's high.
Helper's high. We're getting high on helpers?
Yes.
Okay, love it.
And this is a term that was coined around the 1980s, but people saw there's an actual correlation between giving things and actual health, the feeling that you get.
Yes.
And you guys might know this. If you give somebody something, and this is not if you are forced to give them something, right? It's like, it's like their birthday, so you feel like you have to give them something. Or when you're younger and your parents tell you, you must give your parent or your teacher this. You must give your friend this. So something that is not forced upon you and something that's, out of the goodness of your heart. But that's actually correlated with a healthier body, healthier mind.
Yes.
So we'll go into this. And when you give, you might know, you activate the reward center of your brain.
Yes.
So the brain actually releases your happy hormones, oxytocin, dopamine. And so you get this sense of joy and this sense of peace. And this is really true, like I said, if you're giving this donation freely. And it doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be a material thing. It can also be your time, donating your time, volunteering to a worthy cause, maybe to people that you don't even know. And this can even be as small as like a random act of kindness.
Yes.
Just doing something for a total stranger, and as small as even opening the door for somebody, like something very, very small can mean something big to somebody else.
Right.
So a study was actually done at Harvard Business School, and it compared people who were given envelopes of money and they had to spend it either on themselves or for somebody else. And the results, every single person that chose to give to somebody else actually had a higher rating of happiness than the people that got something for themselves.
Love it. I love it. Because I feel like this probably resonates with our waivers. I feel that especially there are a lot of people that don't text in. I get it.
Yeah.
People are busy. People like to be incognito. They like, but it's for the people who do speak up. It's like they're always such warm people. That I feel like they definitely would be more of a giver than a receiver.
Yes. So you guys are probably, have felt this before, I'm sure. But the term helper's high is a real thing. And being generous actually lowers your blood pressure. So one study showed that people who volunteer around 4 hours a week.
Yes.
Okay. So that's less than 1 hour a day, only 4 hours a week, are 40% less likely to develop high blood pressure than those who don't. And high blood pressure is also correlated with heart disease, heart problems that you have later on in life. So this in turn makes you live longer. And I'll back that up with another study at Berkeley found that elderly people who volunteered for 2 or more organizations were 44% less likely to die in the next 5 years.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? Almost 50%.
44%? That's no laughing matter.
Yeah.
Even if it were like 4%, we would take it.
Oh, yeah, even a little bit. But this is
but
almost
44.
50% less likely.
Yes.
And this is only volunteering for 2 or more organizations.
Yes.
So it's not to say every day you're going out there and doing all these amazing deeds. It's just a little bit of time every week devoted to doing something for somebody else, not yourself.
Yes.
Right?
I do remember when I was younger, my mom would force me.
Oh, really?
But the feeling that I felt after,
yeah,
it's like irreplaceable.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Because I was like, for every Thanksgiving and Christmas before we had our meal, my mom would force us to go to a soup kitchen like every single time. And then once a month, we also had to go volunteer at an elderly care facility.
Ah, wow.
Where we would donate like not money, time. And I would play my flute for them. And I really kind of felt forced.
Yeah, you dreaded it before.
Right. But then after every single time, I'd be like, oh, why didn't I just come willingly? And then the next time you forget, because, you know, teen angst, you're like, I don't want to do it again. And then you go and you're like, I mean, it wasn't forced.
Yeah.
It was just like,
and that's like, you know, your parents kind of giving you the opportunity to be able to do it. And I know kids at a young age, when you're kind of forced to do these things, you know, kids might complain. They don't really see the value in it. But you're giving them the chance and kind of just letting them know that these opportunities are out there so that maybe later in life it will influence you to do them voluntarily.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, like I said, it releases all these great hormones when you're giving to somebody else. This also helps to prevent depression, prevents anxiety, lowers all the stress hormones like cortisol. And we know cortisol is related to a whole bunch of other physical health problems as well.
Yes.
And it gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling inside, which makes you feel empathy. And so feeling empathetic towards others, making you know, it kind of connects you to them. It connects you to the outer world. A lot of times we are always like looking inward. Oh, I need this. I don't have this. I wish I could do this.
That's true.
But when you're giving to somebody else and your focus is on somebody else, then it kind of gives you this outwardly purpose. So this is another huge benefit that giving can give to us.
Indeed.
It gives you a sense of purpose, and giving to others, it makes you feel connected to the world. And these connections give you a sense of belonging. And, you know, especially people that are maybe feeling lonely or maybe feeling like they don't necessarily, you know, you have a job you're going to do every day, but maybe you don't feel this like warm, fuzzy feeling every time you go to work, or maybe you don't feel like you're contributing to the world as much as you want to. This is a really great way to do that.
I agree.
And it's really quick. It's the quickest way to feel fulfillment, you know, and so I'm saying maybe it's difficult for you. Like, I don't really know where to volunteer. It just takes so much time. Just little things too, like random acts of kindness. Like I said, going out, opening the door for somebody. If you see somebody struggling with something, you know, especially an elderly person, carrying a lot of bags, having trouble getting across the street, just helping that person. It's the quickest way to feel that sense of fulfillment and purpose and happiness. So really great for your mind and physical health.
This reminds me of a story, true story. I got into the elevator in my apartment. I had a lot of stuff, and this like young, I think he's in high school. This young high schooler, you know, I don't know which school, but he was in his gym clothes, and he was like, do you need help? But we usually think like high schoolers, like boys are kind of like, you know, teen angst, and kind of rebellious. And like I saw this halo, this aura around his head, like literally.
Yeah.
And then like I also kind of checked to see what floor he lived on, because I wanted to ask my daughter. I was like, I wanted to ask her later. Like, do you know this kid on the 33rd floor? Like so. Because like it's kind of rare. And he was just like, do you need help? So he helped me with my box of tangerines. And he's like, which floor do you need to go to? I was like, can you press 20?
Wow.
20층 좀 눌러주세요. And he did.
Wow.
And then like he even held the door open.
Oh my
and he's like,
gosh.
do you need help? I was like, no, you don't have to. That's too much. 문까지는 안 해도 돼요. Thank you. And I was like, your parents.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. Okay, your parents raised you right. Like, they did something right.
But you know what's funny? I hope that we can live in the world where that actually becomes more the norm.
Like, that is the norm,
Yeah,
right?
because this happens all the time. When you do something kind, people are like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. And they're so surprised. Especially even, there are times, you know, on the metro or the bus where I get up, you know, to try and give somebody a seat. They're like, oh, no. It's okay. And people are like, oh, wow, that's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. But I hope that we can kind of change that attitude where that is actually the norm, and people not helping is surprising. what if we change that?
Can I brag just a little?
Yes.
Just for 20 seconds.
Yes, of
so
course.
So my youngest, she's very into insang to everybody. So she even insays to every 택배 person who's delivering food or whomever gets on the elevator. But I noticed like we ran into a person who's delivering food yesterday, and then she was like, 안녕히 가세요, like really like audibly, and he was kind of like taken aback. You could see he was a little surprised. I was like, 네. But you could see the little smile on his face. I was just like, and I told my kid, I was like, 99% of the time you give me grief. But like that one time, I was like, you did good.
Yes.
You did good, Joe. Yeah.
So what if we what if we change it so that's the norm? I feel like people are way more disconnected with each other. We're kind of like, any people get in the elevator, you look at your phone.
Right.
You're standing in line, you look at your
phone. Because
phone.
you're so like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
But what if we kind of engaged with each other, connected with each other, and helped each other a little bit more, right? And the gift of giving, it's actually a sustainable thing, meaning it has way longer lasting effects than if you get something material.
That's true.
So if you get something like, especially children, they get a new toy, they play with it maybe a couple days, weeks, months if you're lucky. But after that new toy kind of loses the novelty. Kids get over it. They want a new thing. They want a new plaything. Adults too. You get something new and it's really cool for a little bit, but then something else new comes out and then you want that, right? So that little dopamine high, that little excitement that you get for that gift is very short living, very short lasting. But if you give, and you continue to give, it's like a cycle. You get that dopamine high, you feel really good, and you want to do it again. And also, if you're the receptor, if you're receiving something like kindness, maybe that 택배 person went on and said insa to somebody else,
I certainly
and
would
paid
like to
it
think so.
forward, and it kept going. So if we continue to kind of think like this, and like I said, there's no act too small. So I really do encourage going out volunteering, maybe donating money to a cause that you really feel closely to, and encouraging your kids to do as well. But really small acts can make a big difference in someone's life as well.
I agree.
Paying for someone's coffee, opening the door, in simple, like you said, an insa.
Insa.
Yes.
Warm words.
Yes.
Well, thank you for bringing us, a reminder to give. To give is much better than to receive. So,
and good for yourself as well. So you're giving to yourself when you give to others.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Bonnie.
Happy holidays.
All right, everybody. This is Bonnie with The Health. It is time to wrap things up. And my producer, she's letting me. Well, she finally let me put on the headband as I introduce our final song. All I Want for Christmas is you, right? This is by Mariah Carey. Have a good one. Bye.